Happy Monday morning to you. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. There's been some just scheduling issues, and also this camera has been acting up on me. So those are my two excuses today. But at the end of the day, I am considerably late, so my apologies. We normally go live at 9 a.m. Central every single Monday and also on Fridays, and then we'll continue to add additional times. So my apologies on this. So with that being said, let's get started. The notifications are going to go out a little bit later on today. So again, this is something that I can't necessarily control. So if you're watching this on replay, be sure to comment down below. If you're watching this now, be sure to comment down below because it's going to help send the notifications out so more and more people know that, hey, Jaime is going on live now, but he just kind of goofed up. So my apologies on that. All right, well, today we're talking about a very fun topic, one that I am becoming more and more enamored with, and that is making more money. No, now that's not a joke. That's actually making more money. That's something that I'm becoming more and more of a fan of, not because I value money that much or I covet money, but money really wasn't a big motivator for me ever. It wasn't a big motivating factor whenever I started my career after college. Because, I mean, several different factors, and some of it could have led to me making 6 figures and 7 figures relatively early in my career. Now, that's not a flex by any stretch of the imagination. That's just a reality. So for me, it hasn't necessarily been I have to make money type of a situation from day one. So it's just a blessed position that I've been in. I fully acknowledge that. So with that being said, now I'm putting more of an emphasis on making more money because I want to help more people with the charities that I have going on, the scholarships that I have. So making money is quite important, whether you're a real estate agent or not. You need to make money to make the car payment, to pay for the house, to eat, to have education, everything. So and making money is important. It's something that I really am starting to value more and more of, because it's just a reality, and reality that we if we don't have any money to work with, then we're in trouble, right? So today we're going to talk about making more money as a real estate agent, and I'm going to give you some unorthodox tips. I could very easily just tell you, hey, spend more money in marketing and call it good. I could easily tell you, hey, go buy my course and then you're going to learn how to do Facebook ads or YouTube ads. But no, I don't even care if you buy my course or not. What I want you to realize is that to make more money, there's different ways that you can do that. Now, the concept that I want to really dive into in depth today is the concept of making more and saving more together. People think that we have to compromise that. People think that, well, if we make more, then we are going to have to spend more. Well, that's not always the case. Yes, and there we go. That's the issue that I was hoping wouldn't happen. The camera went completely crazy on me, but I had a backup plan. So we have a webcam. I don't know what it is with this whole M50. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But that was actually one of those items that I was telling you about that was becoming an issue for me. So this camera is on timeout, as you can see that. So it's not just me. Anyway, so that threw everything off. Let's get back on track. We're talking about making more money. So I have my notes up here, so you're going to periodically see me look over here. Now, the concept about making more money and spending more money, that is that's a myth, right? So it's something that, yes, it could happen, but it doesn't always have to be. I think that you can have that perfect balance of making more money and spending less. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a little bit. So as we're talking about making more money, there's different aspects there's different aspects of you making that money. There is the concept, or there's the aspect of doing active things to generate that business. So active ways to get more leads, and then there's passive ways to get more leads. Now, what I really want you to start thinking about is really rethink the way that you're doing your business today. So really rethink your business strategy. And I wanted to give you an example. So a friend of the channel, his name is Chris Igo. Chris Igo is somebody he was in Wall Street. Just a very brief history on him. Chris Igo now is out of Florida, but he used to work in Wall Street up in New York, moved down to Florida, and then started doing real estate. And he was the absolute biggest proponent that you could ever imagine. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm moving this mic over here to make sure that we can hear okay. But he was the biggest proponent of cold calling. And he had a big, his group is over 10,000 members, if I remember correctly, of him getting on the phone and dialing. And dialing. But at this point, that's not how he prospects anymore. He doesn't prospect on the phone. He actually does things through video. And that's actually what we're going to talk about here in a little bit, of active versus passive marketing, where somebody like that, somebody that was so fine-tuned with being on the phone and closing people on the phone, unreal. Again, I would take notes, I would listen in, I would chime in every morning. He would do this every morning, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. And it's actually is through him doing that kind of gave me the idea of doing the simulcast, where if he could rethink and rework this, the way that he generates business, and only do YouTube videos now, where he doesn't have time to keep up with all of the leads that come with him passively, I want to encourage you that you can do that as well. And he was the biggest proponent. He would make hundreds of calls every single morning. So that's just huge. So just start rethinking how this microphone is working. Just start rethinking the way that you're doing business, right? So that's really a big component of what we're going to talk about today. Early on, how you're making money right now is primarily going to be in the active form. So active marketing, things that it could be prospecting via phone. It could be door knocking. It could be cold calling. It could be doing very active things, holding open houses. So starting your career, if you're newer, or just running to increase your business in the short term, then we're talking about active prospecting that needs to happen. And that ratio could be 100% of your time is going to be spent on active prospecting. Oftentimes it isn't 100%. Oftentimes it ends up being 80-20. 80% for active, 20% for passive, which we'll get into in a little bit. But that's what that ends up looking like. So as you're trying to make more business, generate more business in the short term, then you're going to focus on those active strategies, the ways that you're going to generate business actively. That means working that LinkedIn profile. That means working your Facebook messages, working your Facebook groups, being very intentional with your prospecting. So that's the active form. As you go further on into your career, let me backtrack. From the passive standpoint, because I never finished that thought out. From the passive standpoint, passive forms of marketing are your YouTube videos, are your blogs, are things that you're investing in today, you're planting the seed today to benefit on the shade later. So get that shade later. So if I write a blog today, which I have a full-time blogger now doing all of my blogs, but if I write a blog today and I upload it, I don't expect somebody to give me a call from that blog today. I don't even expect it a month from now. That's how much patience you have to have with this. So I fully expect something, and a lot of people, to start reaching out to me in 6 months, in 9 months, in 12 months, as the blog starts ranking. So that's a big part of the strategy. So early on, as you're trying to get business, you may not be able to focus on that passive aspect of your business, because you may not ever stay in business long enough to actually see those through. If you're starting out in your business today as a brand new agent and have about 3 months worth of income, 6 months worth of income in storage for the future, well, you better start generating business today, because real estate is not it's not a short term. It may take you a month, 2 months, 3 months to work with that first client, and then it may take you a month, 2 months and beyond to close on that home. And then that's when you see a commission. So newer agents, you don't have the luxury of investing a lot of time and a lot of money in the passive forms of marketing and passive ways to generate business, because you may not make it to month 9. And I hate to be that way. I'm not talking down on you. I'm just giving you a reality, right? So it's something that if you have the cash flow or the cash or the investment, ready, then yes, you can make it. But at this point, when you're starting out, how you make money is more from the active side of things. So it's from that active. So early on in your business, it's going to look 80% of your activity is going to be active, 20% is going to be passive. As you start growing in your business, then you start seeing those flip. For me at this point, I am about 95% passive. 95% passive. because I have all of the YouTube videos. I have 700 now. I have all of the blog. Well, I guess blogs technically doesn't count because I started that in January. I will have all of the blogs going on, and I do have a lot of different, niches in Facebook that are periodically bringing me business. So that's something that we need to be cognizant of, because that's a really important thing. So as we start scaling, as we start looking for ways to make more money, then we need to either duplicate ourselves, which is not possible. So what needs to happen at that point is we call leverage. So you can't duplicate yourself in the traditional sense, because that's not a thing. A clone, even if you had a clone, that's just not going to work. What you're trying to do here is you're going to leverage. You're going to leverage yourself. So leveraging yourself looks different. Leveraging yourselves can manifest itself in several different ways. You could completely leverage yourself by hiring somebody else. You can hire a company. You could hire either that person can be in person or it could be a virtual assistant. Doesn't matter, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But as we're talking about leveraging yourself, I want you to think of the acronym DAD. D-A-D. So DAD. Document, automate, and delegate. So let me repeat that again. As you're leveraging yourself, just think of the acronym DAD. Document, automate, and delegate. So we're going to break open. If I wasn't struggling so much to get this live stream going, you would have seen it on the screen, but I just didn't have time to do that, so my apologies. So as we're talking about documenting, so remember what we're talking about right now is leveraging. Remember that acronym, DAD, DAD, document, automate, and delegate. So talking about documenting, this means as you're looking to leverage yourself, as you're looking to grow your business, as you want to get more and more business, it doesn't matter what mechanism you use, whether that's Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube, blogs, viral marketing, whatever it happens to be, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the strategy is still the same when you're leveraging. So documenting, that means making templates. That means making SOPs. That means creating educational videos that you're documenting what's happening in your business. That way, whenever you add additional team players to your business, you can easily share with them, hey, this is what I've been doing. I'll give you one example. I'm a big fan of making videos, as you can see. So when it comes to how I document my workflow with my virtual assistants, I'll give you just very practical advice. I use something called Trello, which is a project management software. And in Trello, I have each one of my VAs link up to a Trello board. I don't want to get too technical in that aspect, but it's essentially a task list, if you will. Now, whenever I want to share, or whenever I want them to take over something, I make a video about it, doing exactly what it is that I do. So whenever Joseph Gonzalez and I do the Agent Lead Source podcast, and the video file comes through, and video and audio file comes through Zoom, I take that audio file and then I put it in a Google Drive. That Google Drive is shared by my virtual assistant. So the moment that the virtual assistant sees that, she knows, hey, I better upload it to Buzzsprout. I need to edit it first, and then I need to upload it to Buzzsprout. Well, how she learned the entire mechanism, how she learned the entire workflow was, I recorded a video of, hey, this is exactly how I get the file. This is how I edit it. I put the intro, I put the outro, I compress it, then I upload it to Buzzsprout. And then once it's on Buzzsprout, I put the title, I put the description, I do a little bit of SEO, and then I cut out a clip of the show so then I can go and market it on Facebook. I documented all of that. So again, we're talking about leveraging, we're talking about the acronym DAD, document, automate, and then delegate. So I kind of covered all of those already, but documenting, that's what I'm talking about. Making a video about it, creating your SOPs, creating templates. So that's how you start leveraging your time. And that's how you start scaling your business. Now, as we go into automate, sometimes it may not even require you doing it. So I'll give you another example. I do a lot of things for the real estate agents that I work with, not only from the client standpoint, from the consulting or the agency side where I work with agents outside of my EXP team, but I also do a lot for the EXP agents that join me. And actually, one of them is on here right now. Warren, appreciate you. hopping on. So for the agents that are part of my team, well, I do a lot of work. Maybe I shouldn't say I. I have coordinated a lot of the resources where they get videos, they get infographics, they get social media posts, they get a lot of different things that help their brand, that help gain business for them. And a lot of that is done, actually all of it is done through my virtual assistants. So I'll give you the example of how automation works in this regard. So when you automate, you can use things like Zapier. You can use things like If This, Then That, which are software that are designed to connect an aspect or a software from over here to over here. So whenever you get a Facebook lead, you can zap it over to an email. Whenever you get a Facebook lead over here, you can zap it over to a CRM. You can do whatever it is that the Zapier allows you to do. So I'll give you the example that I was going about. Whenever a new agent joins my team and we go through our strategy session and we talk about their business, how they're going to grow and how they're going to reach icon status at EXP, then they get a spreadsheet. And this Google spreadsheet is all they have to do is put their name, their phone number, their email, their social media handles, and everything. So as soon as they input that information, so keep in mind I'm not putting that information in there. I have better things to do with my time. So whenever they input their information in the Google Sheet, as soon as that happens, a Zap is created, or a Zap is made where it goes from that Google Sheet over to Trello. And then it creates that card. Well, guess where that Trello card gets created? Not on my task list, but on my virtual assistants. So I don't have to touch any of that. I could very easily have said, okay, well, awesome, we're ready to go. Let me take all your information down, and then I'm gonna send it over to my VA. But why? Why would I want to do that? That is a way that you're automating your business. Is this making sense? Let me know in the comments section if this is making sense. So again, we're going through the leveraging aspect of how you grow your business. Remember that acronym? DAD, document, automate, and then delegate. So that's how you start leveraging your business. So you don't have to do this all at once right now. This is just how I've started doing my workflow. You don't have to replicate it. If you have more questions in it, I'd gladly show you. But this is how you can do it. So you may find that a lot of these tasks don't even require human intervention. So this is what we're talking about, automating. But then at some point, if you are really trying to scale, so it isn't just a party of one, it isn't a solopreneur venture where you're the entrepreneur, but you're the only person in the business. And if you stop working that day, then you don't eat. If you're not there managing everything in and out and being the central cog of your business, that's not sustainable. I'll put it that way. And that's where you start looking at delegating. And you can delegate in many different forms. You can delegate by hiring somebody in person. So somebody that you're going to have as a W-2 employee. You're going to pay some partial taxes on that. You're going to train them. You're going to be HR. You're going to be everything. You could do that if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's different ways. And that is actually the most expensive on time and on resources. So not a lot of entrepreneurs or solopreneurs are ready to do that. The second level, the second separation from that, is hiring a company. And this is just to put an example into place so you can kind of see the progression. Let's just say you wanted to get better at marketing and you hired somebody full-time out of college to help you with the marketing, and they're going to become your marketer. Well, you can hire them full-time, or what you can do is hire a company that's already a marketing company that can run your ads, that can run your marketing and everything else. That's where you see the rise of the digital agencies, which there's nothing wrong with them. I have one myself, where you have digital agencies that are professionals at what they do. So you just pay a small premium on their capabilities, but you know that the result that they're going to generate, or at least if you vet them out correctly, you know that the result that they generate is going to be much better than anything that you could teach your marketer or anything that the marketer could bring in to your business. So it's going to cost you in the form of an expense instead of a staffing. My gosh, why am I not coming up? Payroll. It's not going to come in as payroll. So you can do that hiring. Now, how you kind of bridge the gap instead of going the in-person or the full company, but you want to have some control over it, you can do a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant if you look for them in the right place, and you can easily go to, I think my website is JaimeResendiz.com/VA. I think it's VA. So type that in. If not, it's virtual, where it'll give you. I'll try it right now. My preferred company to work with. Yeah, it's VA. So JaimeResendiz.com. So just my name, and then /VA, and it'll take you to my preferred virtual assistant company that gives you a lot of control over your hiring, a lot of autonomy over that. And virtual assistants, if you do your due diligence, you're going to find that a lot of them are super qualified. You're going to find people that are attorneys in their home countries. You're going to find people that are so overly qualified for the position. And I laugh. I know that it's a little bit comical, but in some of these countries, I'll give you an example. In the Philippines, they actually have a full industry in being virtual assistants. They call it something different over there. I don't remember what it's called, but they call it something different. They don't call it virtual assistants, but it's something that these full industries have been created to support countries that have a little bit better pay, not a little bit, significantly better pay. So for you save some money, you get a qualified individual, and you grow your business. So we're talking about leveraging. So document, automate, and then delegate. So that's how you start delegating your work. That's how you start automating your work. That's how you do your documentation, and that's how you ultimately leverage. So that's how you start making more money. Now, you may have reached a plateau where I can't break 20 transactions in a year. Well, that's when you see agents that are high producers like that. Well, they'll go out and get a marketing company. I'm through generating leads myself. I just need leads, and I'm going to close them. I'm through doing all of the transactions, so I'm going to bring in a transaction coordinator. It's not new. It's just reworded different. So just be aware that that's what's happening, and you see that. You see that happening with top producers. You see the producers that are doing 100, 200, 500 homes. They're getting buyer's agents upon buyer's agents upon buyer's agents to help them as they're the rainmaker in that particular team. So it's something that you're seeing out in the industry right now, and that's how you start making more money. So that's a huge aspect. Now, at the same time that you're making more money, you of course want to save money. Now, again, I kind of mentioned at the beginning that saving money, or as you make more money, doesn't necessarily mean that you need to spend more money. Sometimes it does because of your delegating and everything else like that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't stop you from attempting to save money. That's very important. So at the end of the day, what's important is not what's at the top, it's what's at the bottom. So if you generate so much more income, but your expenses far exceed where they used to be and don't cover the additional revenue, then you're actually making less off the bottom. And you're a business owner, you're aware and know how a profit and loss sheet works, or a profit and loss statement works. So let's talk about saving money. Saving money is super important. The first step you need to do when you're looking to save money is you need to evaluate your business. You need to reevaluate what you're doing. Does it make sense? Should you continue doing that? Is this a good use of my time? Is this a good use of my resource? So really take a deep look at what you're paying for. And one of the easiest ways to do that is take the credit card statement. I don't have one. Actually, it's in the kitchen. Taking that credit card statement and reading through it. What am I spending my money on right now? Am I spending it on something I've never used? Am I spending it on something that should have been canceled 3 months ago? So that's a way for you to start eliminating the waste in your business, for one, but then also take a critical look at, hey, should I be paying for an enterprise account of Zapier when I have X, Y, and Z over here? I mean, that's a real cost. That's a real cost. So that's how you start saving money. And once you've identified, okay, I absolutely need this and I absolutely need this, so this is my entire work, this is what I need it to look like, then you start renegotiating. You start renegotiating on what that looks like. You can go back to your vendors and get a discount. Especially now, you can get a discount on just about anything. I'll give you an example, AT&T. So AT&T has my internet and has my my phone. Whenever I call them for the phone, it reduced from, I still think I'm paying too much, but it was $130 and they dropped it down to 100. Now, the internet, actually on that one, it kind of went up. On the internet one, that one's one that I could not go any less because I got in on a promotional when I bought the new house. But at the end of the day, every single year I'm going back to the table and I'm negotiating, renegotiating. And this includes, by the way, this includes your brokerage, regardless of which one it is. Now, some brokerages are a lot more strict than others, but then there's plenty of brokerages out there that if they see that you're heading out the door and you have your hand on that knob ready to turn it just so you can leave, you'd be surprised how much leverage you have as the agent because you're the one that drives the business. So as you take the opportunity to renegotiate, take the opportunity to renegotiate everything. Renegotiate your life for all I care. Renegotiate what you want in your business. Renegotiate what it should look like. Now, that's when you're already in your business. That's when you already have the vendors. That's when you already have the expenses going. But before you make that next purchase, bargain. Seek that bargain. Negotiate before you get into that. I'll give you another example. So I just, I don't have my branded shirts on me today, but I just did another round of branded shirts. Instead of having Echo Real Estate Advisors, it's going to have my name because I did a rebranding. So it's only my name, Jaime Resendiz. So before I hit the checkout button on Vistaprint, I called Vistaprint, which has a division that does closing. I called them up and I said, hey, what discount do you have for my order? There wasn't any discount online. I just called them and I got a discount. And I think it was 10. It was either 10 or 20%. No, it was 10. It was 10%. But at the end of the day, 10% covers shipping. So that's something that you can absolutely do in your business. So before you make that next purchase, see what you can negotiate, see what you can bargain down for. So that's something that you can absolutely do a lot. Now, when it comes to the last aspect that I want to cover on saving money, consolidation is powerful. So consolidation how that looks in your business as a real estate agent, you probably have a CRM. At the same time, you probably have an email autoresponder. At the same time, if you're doing texting, you have something like Twilio. At the same time, you have a website. At the same time, you're trying to get the IDX to work on your website, which is where people can go to your website and search for properties. So those 5 items that I just mentioned to you is actually a real cost that I had. So for me, the website was a little bit over $100. The CRM that I was using at the time was $40. The email autoresponder was $50 because of the volume that I had. Texting was about $20, and then landing page generator was about $100. So all of those expenses, whatever those add up to, it's several $100s worth. All of that was replaced whenever I made the switch to EXP, where KV Core is offered for free. Now, I'm not suggesting that you switch to EXP unless you want to partner up with me. I'd gladly have that conversation with you. But what I'm suggesting to you is there's a different way to do business. So consolidating all of those things into a platform like KV Core, it made a lot of sense, especially if I didn't have to pay for it, because KV Core is kind of pricey out in the wild. As I like to say, it's over $500. So for me, I saw that alone be a huge cost savings. Alone, it was a huge cost savings. So just start thinking about ways to consolidate. Start thinking about different ways to work your business, because you're going to find so many different ways for you to save money at the same time. So again, it's either to make more money at the end of the day, either your income has to go up and your expenses stay the same, or your income can stay the same and then your expenses get reduced. That's how you have a higher quality of life when it comes to money. Not suggesting that money is the driver of your life, but when it comes to money, there's more things that you can buy, more things that you can afford, better schooling that you can have for your children, and better vacations, better quality of life for the family that you care about. Folks, that was it. That's all I had for ways to make more money as a real estate agent. And this is something that I highly encourage you to revisit every single year as a quick reminder, because a great reset for you, it should be in January's. It's a great opportunity for you to be the most motivated, reevaluate what business looks like. You see a lot of people that are looking to cut deals, especially starting out, because they want to get ahead of their goals. So look at it that way. These are great ways to make some extra money. or maybe not make extra money at all. Just make more money at the beginning of the day. Thank you so much for bearing with me on this whole camera thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with this camera at the end of the day because it's just acted up. Good thing I have another one. But either way, folks, I really appreciate you. I will do my best to be on time next Friday at 9 a.m. Central. Until then, I'll see you there. Bye.